Welcome to the first episode of Rage Cage, the ultimate debate ring, where two nerds enter and one nerd leaves. Normally. Because of current circumstances, we have not been able to stick our competitors in the actual Rage Cage. Hey, but we're not going to let the end of the world stop us from settling some of the greatest debates in geek history. Up first, it's a time traveling debate. We want to know who's the best time traveler there is. The Sorcerer Supreme himself from the Marvel Universe, Doctor Strange, or the alcohol-swirling, one-of-a-kind Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. You decide on Rage Cage.
So, we're talking about Doctor Strange versus Rick Sanchez, and one of these characters is a very intelligent inventor who is also kind of limited by everything that he has around him. Whereas Doctor Strange is literally magic. He's magic, and he can just turn back time at his own whim. He can utilize odd items such as the time stone when he absolutely needs to in the MCU. This is a character who, when he does go back in time, actually ensures that the timeline continues instead of f***ing off to the middle of the multiverse, like the other character that we're talking about does. Doctor Strange is actually a master of time travel, using his abilities in a way that Rick just, like, he may have the portal gun, he may have plenty of tech, he's not as good at this as Doctor Strange is. Like, Doctor Strange is a character who can do all this on his own, whereas Rick is having to, in certain situations, have to work with other people, including Morty, to try and, like, survive and use time travel appropriately. When you, like, Doctor Strange doesn't have a Morty, he, like, at most he has Wong, who at least also knows Kung Fu.
Alright, so here's the thing. Doctor Strange is great. No one's denying that. However, where Rick comes to beating the ever-loving crap out of Doctor Strange, it's all about prep time. And that's the thing with Rick's particularly. He's got so much hammer space and he always seems to know what he's doing all the damn time. Now, that's where, you know, we get the hang up with Doctor Strange specifically, because in order for him to do any time manipulation more advanced than just kind of run around shooting at the hip, he's got to build runes, he's got to kind of sit and meditate for a while he's trying to figure out 5 million different time frames. When it comes down to it, he doesn't have that amount of time. Furthermore, if we're talking about, you know, who the master of this versus the master of that, the fact of the matter is, if Rick is sitting there finding out that there is some magician who is essentially saying that he's the master manipulator of time, he will go balls to the wall just to disprove the magic altogether. Therefore, he would be more inclined to take on the Herculean task of taking on Doctor Strange himself, which means that ultimately, through sheer hatred of magic, Rick Sanchez is going to win the whole thing.
So you're saying this like Doctor Strange has not encountered people like Rick Sanchez before. Doctor Strange comes from a reality where both Reed Richards and Doctor Doom, and Iron Man for that matter, all exist, and Doctor Strange has to put up with their bullshit and their attempts to figure out his abilities all the time. Doctor Strange will just shrug and go, yeah, but it's magic though. Rick does have that homer space. Doctor Strange can literally pull things from outside of reality, as opposed to Rick, who does have a limited amount of equipment and energy at times. Look at the Miniverse episode, where if Rick is without his technology and forced into a corner, he can really only build so far with outright direct assistance. Doctor Strange, on the other hand, is fully capable of handling all this on his own. Like, if he can handle Doctor Doom, he can handle Rick.
Okay, sure, yes, maybe he can handle Doctor Doom. BFD, man. Here's the thing. When it comes to Rick, I mean, when we're talking about different levels of hammer space and everything else that he does, he's already got kind of a plan to deal with anything that might come out of reality or otherwise. The thing is, let's take, for example, you know, the 5 million time frames that Doctor Strange can really see at any given time. The thing is, Rick would literally just be like, okay, I'm gonna turn into a quantum state and do my own thing and basically become completely blind to Doctor Strange at all. The thing is, like, he's literally met the guys who have, you know, built time and space as is. And let's say, for example, if he does have his back against the wall, I mean, all he's going to do is call an army of Ricks and an army of Mortys from an infinite level of universe, all with equal intellect to Rick. I mean, there's one Doctor Strange, there's infinite Ricks that will straight up come out with every gizmo and gadget this side of the infinite verse. There's no way that Doctor Strange, past, present, future, however many Doctor Stranges there might be in the world, they're always going to come up against the science of Rick. And the thing is, magic is very esoteric, sure, but science is hard. It is hard as hell because there's laws in time and space, and only Rick knows how to manipulate it all. And so it's like when you come up with magic, there's an end. When there's science, it's infinite. Fight me, bro.
But that's literally the point of magic, is that it's infinite and can become anything and produce any results, especially in the hands of a creative sorcerer like Doctor Strange, who literally just bullshits together plans on the fly to bring the world back from literally getting exploded. If we're going to be talking about the Council of Ricks, they fucking hate Rick. They fucking there's no way that they're going to come and actually help him. If anything, the Council of Ricks are going to fucking get popcorn and watch Rick get fucking destroyed by Doctor Strange the second they realize, oh, that's actually magic. There is no capability that Doctor Strange cannot counter. There is no thing that Rick can pull out that Doctor Strange can't just go, oh, that disappeared, oh, that melted, oh, that did a thing.
It's all about the prep time. Yes, Doctor Strange can do all that, but he's not instantaneous. Like, Rick can literally just pull something out of his lab coat in 2 seconds while Doctor Strange has to set up for his magic. Ultimately, and I'm going to use this as my closing argument, ultimately, Doctor Strange and Rick, I think on terms of absolute power and absolute ability, I think they're absolutely equal. I think that in the end, it comes down to the quick of the draw. And in terms of drawing, Doctor Strange literally has to draw to make things work, where Rick, all he has to do is pull something out of the lab coat. Like, it's the fastest gun in the West, and that's gonna be Rick.
I think you're overestimating how long it takes Doctor Strange to move his hands in a particular thing, and then he does a thing. Because that's, like, Doctor Strange has the ability to do that. He's also, he's carrying a full loadout of magical equipment and gear that allows him to amplify his abilities and his potential. Lab coat quick draw does not really matter if Doctor Strange can just do it like a Naruto hand gesture and it makes the room explode. Rick is a very, very skilled human. Doctor Strange is on God level.
No, the Naruto hand thing still takes damn time. I've seen the movies, I've seen the comic books, it takes fucking time. Rick does not have to take any time, he just reaches out, kaboom, things happen. That's just Rick. He's pure unbridled chaos, and it's quicker than anything that Doctor Strange has. I'm done.
So who do you think won the fight? Your votes are going to help determine who the victor is, and we're going to announce that here next week, along with the next matchup here in the Rage Cage.